Hello, this is Gerald Jovaras. Would it be a very good idea to understand words as visualizations, where our focus is going to? Wouldn't that be quite helpful? A very good example for this is the word scope. I will show you how the scope is described in a book, but I'll also describe you how you can change the letters into a combination of focuses. Every letter is a reference to a specific focus. It's a theory that is based upon a certain 1, 2, 3 rhythm of possibilities in points, in directions, or in a balanced out background of behaviors. All the possibilities that you have in focuses are really related with certain letters, and the combination of letters in a word make up actually the direction of our thoughts, of our visualizations as well, of our directions of where we have to go with our focuses. And scope is not different, and I have the theory here at the right resumed. I will not explain it now, but I will explain the letters that we need and the combinations of it and the different kind of focuses you can see here as well. Something close by of the 9 first letters, something which is movable, the next 9 positions, and the things that are moving as a continuous background element actually that you deal with as well are the 9 last positions. But of course we go to scope. The first letter is S. I'll take out the position of the letter S, which is the third category. There are 3 categories. The third category is what is playing along in the background. The letter S is the farthest away point that you can have in your focus. So it's also about, as far as you can go. And also it has a relationship with feedback, because the whole system works from the starting point of what you think that you can notice, and the end, the opposite actually from where you start from, is what comes to you as a kind of feedback process. And the last letter in the whole system of logic is the letter S, which is then course completely about what kind of feedback that you receive, but it's the furthest away. So how do we show that? We have to show that, according to the theory, that it has a certain range of behavior with open beginning and open ending. So that's why this infinity symbol is there. It's like you see something in the sky, you don't know where it starts from, and you don't know where it goes to, but you can have a certain range that you can try to estimate. That's the S. So that kind of range from the horizon, you don't see the real starting point, you don't see the ending point. It doesn't matter. This is your reality. What you see, it's already the starting point of your scope. That's as wide as the range that you can have to, and within that scope you will even also you will realize actually what is expressed in this word. It's also combined with the number 3, so it's 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 angles there. There are 3 diagonals there. So it's horizontal, vertical, diagonal always, meaning it comes back to you. So the diagonal directions are what is coming back to you. So that is also a reference point that you can show and realize, okay, it's coming back to me from 3 different positions, and the balance in between that as that feedback process. So that's a well shown, the range of what we're going to experience there with the S is already shown here in this field of associations. You can extend it even more with the behavior in between that, but I will not do that now. It's just the outer range where I will start from, which is good enough. And the next letter is then the C, which you will already see there in the scheme where it is. It's on the first category, so from the positions that we try to realize what we have before us as a physical reality, as fixed points. And the letter C is from the third category, so again in the number 3, and we try to focus anything that we have in the first category within one centralized point of vision. So we try to centralize our focuses upon what we see. And the C, also because it's number 3, it has it's at the edges of what we can still distinct as something physical, and we have already a range of possibilities where we have to look at, so where we have to concentrate. So we concentrate on the point which is most visible with a 1, 2, 3 option in it as well. That means that it is a bit unclear which of the points is there. There are a lot of variations there. There's a lot of possibilities there, but we choose a starting point where we can start from, that we can concentrate upon. That's basically the letter C. Of course, this letter C will be added after the S, so the S will be followed up by the C. So we actually try to focus as a starting point somewhere there at the board. So that's our starting point of our focus, actually, our centralizing focus. But it's of course in the 1, 2, 3 option as well with the S. It will be at these 3 places, or also within that range of these 3 places. And also with the 1, 2, 3 option, with of course the different directions, in this case of feedback, that it comes to us. So there is that kind of variation where we try to concentrate on what we can still measure. So the C will be like, okay, this is measurable as a starting point, even if it is we are distracted whether it goes in different directions. We try to focus upon these points of C. Next letter will be the O. So the O is from the second category. The second category is about movement, about changes. The letter O is about, what is changing in the material, and where can I start to watch over the changes. So I give it a bit of direction. I see the direction from a starting point, from where I start from, what I can use, and I try to measure actually all the changes. That's what basically O is. From a starting point onwards, I will see what is changing. I follow up the movements. I follow up the changes, as you can see here, from where I start from where my logic starts from where I can follow it up into a certain time process, possibly as well, within a certain scope as well, of a range of as well, from what I can use to follow up. The follow-up also, it's in the second one from the 1, 2, 3 options. In the second, it's from the second option. So it is, I follow it up in different stages. That's why I also have 2 arrows here expressed. O at the same time is also breaching the direct space and goes towards a communal space. What's written in the theory. Excuse me. So it's a space of where the things change, where we are sharing information, where we are sharing differences. It's the surrounding space in which the changes happen. So that's also an association that is often made, and that helps you to realize, but where shall I focus upon? Not the direct space with the fixed elements before you, but what is surrounding. So if you stretch your arms, this is the O. It's what is around you and what makes the communications between all the differences as well, where you see the differences, where you see everything happening, what is changing as well. This is the area that you will focus upon with O. The P after that is also about directions, is the last letter of directions. So it's also the outer range effect as well of all the directions that you have. You want to create a certain result so that you can do something with it, so that you can focus upon the end results. In the P, you will focus upon end results. It's not just in one point, it's not just in one direction, it's always a combination of, 1, 2, 3, of 3 directions. So again, you have these 3 directions. Again, starting from where I am already started from. So I have this range of scope again, where I want to see the results. So the complete focus is upon the results in P. And P is then also a range of directions. So all the directions where things are going, all the changes that happened, we follow them up. It has a certain range, and I try to control it here, also already from the C to O. I try to control and see that I can measure it from my point of view, from the counter effects that it will give upon me when it starts from S. So that's already most of the word, but it ends with E. The letter E is also from the second category. It's also about timing, changes, and so on. It's in the middle there, so it is about change itself. And it gives it a certain value. So when you can give it a value, you can see the highlight, you can see the frequency, you can see the value, let's say, of the frequency, how many times it happens, how it shows itself, how it shows its change itself, the value itself of change. So that's where you can see, okay, here I can measure it. So from here onwards, I can measure it, I can see the value of change. And I have more or less already the word with that certain range. And I can see my scope, which is centering myself also here in all the effects that come towards me with a certain range. This visualization could help us, of course, that you can see, okay, I have this scope here. It's very good to show this visualization. And even if you understand the individual letters, you know what you need for it and in which order you need for it. The concentration, the value that comes out of it, and so on. You see the order and you see what you receive in the end. And this visualization helps, of course, also to understand the word and what we are focusing upon. But you can, of course, also take just Google the synonym for scope and see what it means. Will this tell you more? I don't know. Some common synonyms of scope are compass, gamut, orbit, range, sweep. With all these words, I mean the extent that lies within the powers of something as to cover or control. Scope is applicable to an area of activity predetermined and limited, but somewhat flexible. Is that more clear? I'm not sure. Extent or range of view, outlook, application, operation, effectiveness, etc. An investigation of wide scope, space for movement or activity, opportunity for operation, to give one's fancy full scope. I think that these definitions for me are quite more, they are more limited and not really going to the point of what we are really using in our range of directions of how our mind is used and is following up the directions of what actually is described in the letters. And I think a visualization at some points could help as well to understand much more what a word is about and what is expected to watch in as elements, to notice as elements by using this word. And that tells me a lot more than this definition. Because when I really used also the theory, the 1, 2, 3 and the 3 options, and I say, okay, it's from there, okay, here's my scope, and this I can use. These are the results at the end, what I can get out of it. For me, this visualization process that I processed by just following up the letters tells me more than this definition underneath. But it's up to you, of course, to see the purpose of why we should do that and follow up the letters and see what they do and what they how they influence our mind, that we really direct our mind towards a certain positions and a certain range of position, how much this is valuable or not. It's up to you. Anyhow, this was another example of a word translated into the kind of sound-informed translation of or visualization of the content that is arranged via the letters. And this content is meaningful. It directs our mind by basing itself upon a certain rhythm of balances that you can figure out as a system. And that's what I do, and these videos are an application or an example of this. Thanks again for watching. Bye.